People under 18 should be allowed to change their sex through surgery and hormones in Romania. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Okay, now I'm going to ask each of you why you stood where you stood, but the key is that you have to say it so he can hear, and he has to say it so you can hear. So tell them why you stood on the agree line.
Because I think everyone should have the...
Okay, yeah, just to hear. Come on over.
I'm kind of staying.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that everyone should have the chance to express and become who they want to be. I think it would take like therapy sessions and much more research than it is done now, but they should have the choice to do this and the chance to do it.
When you say they, you're talking about people under 18.
Yes.
Okay, I'm kicking you back over here. Tell her, can you hear him? Tell her why you think people under 18 should not be allowed, why you strongly disagree.
At 18, they don't even, at 18, they get the
17, under 18.
Underage. At 7, they don't even have the right to vote, so they, for sure, they can't even make a logical decision by then. But talking about the statistics that show that, firstly, the suicide rate in the transsexual community, because we're talking about the transsexual community, is huge, it's like around 40%. And when the environmental reasons, let's say, like society accepting them, that thing falls around by 10%. So it's not they are not suiciding based on the societal acceptance. They're just there's an underlying reason they're suiciding, and by accepting their decision, it's not really helping them. It's just like covering the issue. I think there's more psychological issues deep down, and they need more help on a psychological level. And if it gets proven that it's true that they are not in the body which they claim to be, then that's fine. Then they should get that. But
under 18?
Under 18, no, definitely not.
Oh. So they need to wait until they're 18?
And they need to wait until they're 18. That's the first condition. I think they would need to wait until they're like around 22 or something. And second of all, they should need more psychological values for checks first to be able to see that it is indeed a transsexuality, biologically speaking, issue, okay, or it's something else.
Okay. So you're on the disagree line. Is there anything that she said that would persuade you to move one line over to the right?
Nice and loud.
Maybe so, because I do agree with the fact that they should be able to be who they are and be in their body that they love. But under 18, kind of not sure. Not because they're not smart enough to do it, but in Romania it's not a good idea.
Why?
Many people don't really agree with transsexuality in Romania yet. It's not a very post-communism country. It's not very open to the idea of gay marriage and transsexuality. So maybe they should also have the option to move out. So it's better after 18, after 22, like he said. I would also agree.
So are you confident that you're on the right line? You're the correct line?
Yes.
What did you think of, if you want to move over, my friend from Greece, what did you think of his arguments? Is there anything that he said that would persuade you to move to the disagree?
Not to the disagree, but maybe to the slightly agree, because he had some points.
What did he say? What did he say that you found persuasive or convincing? Nice and loud for him.
The part where he said that it's hard when you're younger to make logical decisions, because I agree with that, but again, I wouldn't completely disagree with people under 18 being able to change their sex.
So do you want to move to the slightly agree or no?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so I have a question for you now. Is there anything that he could say to you to cause you to move to the strongly disagree? Like, what evidence would you have to hear? What reason?
Well,
And tell him to see if he can give it to you.
okay, maybe examples of people being like, oh, I was too young to do this, but I don't really strongly disagree. I'm not someone who would go to strongly disagree or strongly agree in general, not in this question.
Okay. Is there anything that would convince you to move to one line over to disagree?
I think if any argument will be solid, it will be able to convince me, even though on strongly agree line. But since there is not a compelling argument at the moment, no.
Can you give what is the best reason that you have for the belief that you could tell him? What's the could you sum up what do you think? What could you say to convince him to move him to the one line to the disagree? Give him your best argument.
Well, there are people who are 18 and they are considered adults, but they think like maybe 15 or 14 years old. And there are people who are 14 or 15 years old and they are thinking like 20 years old or even older people. And I think that's why this should be researched and taught through therapy, and maybe under these circumstances, people under 18 should be allowed to change their sex, and it all resumes to how they're thinking and
so if
their
they had,
maturity.
If
level.
they had therapy and a psychologist said this person is trapped in the wrong body, they're 12, you that's your best argument that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say the best argument is this kid who's 12, boy, girl, whatever, goes to therapist, takes psychological tests, all different doctors, they all say, well, there's no question about it, this person is not faking it, they're trapped in the wrong body, we know it's the case. Should we allow for exceptions? And if we allow for exceptions, wouldn't that mean you should move to the disagree line?
We shouldn't allow for exceptions, because exceptions would mean that we need to start crossing our line without we should start closing our line in a different subject where do exceptions stop? What does it mean to be actually an exception? In this case, I think his case should be taken, and if that kid feels the same like this after 5, 6, 7 years until he becomes 18, then absolutely, yeah, he should be able to do that. But until then, I don't think exceptions should be allowed.
So there are no exceptions to this?
No.
As long as you're under 18?
As long as they're 18.
Okay. Is there anything I didn't ask you that I should have asked you? Is there a question I should have asked that I didn't ask? Are you confident that the line you're on is the line you should be on? Thank you for playing. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that helped.